Well, good evening, everyone. We're going to start doing these videos in the evening as well, right here from the Weather Center at 21 News. And I've got a real cool thing to show you this evening on this high resolution, easy for me to say, satellite picture across New England. I showed you one of these high resolution pictures last week of Lake Erie and the ice on the lake. This is of the areas that have been buried by the blizzard in New England. To kind of get your bearings here, here's Massachusetts, here's Connecticut, and over here is Rhode Island. Wanted to point out one thing in particular that's really cool on here. A massive tornado ripped through parts of southern Massachusetts on June 1st, 2011. And oftentimes these really strong tornadoes will leave a scar on the earth. And you can pick it out on this satellite picture right in through here. The straight line right above my cursor is a tornado scar. This was a very long-lived tornado. Look how much real estate this tornado moved across almost 2 years ago. And with the snow highlighting the ground, you can easily pick out where that tornado went through. So that's a really cool thing. Otherwise, this picture is pretty awesome because you can pick out easily the higher terrain of eastern New York up in the Catskills here. You can pick out river valleys and cities, and here's the Connecticut River sneaking down like this. So these high-resolution pictures are really cool. So let's move on from that, and I'll switch my browser over here. Bear with me for just a second here. We will go over to the surface map this evening. Here at about 8 o'clock this evening, we've got a cold front that moved through the valley earlier today, moving now through central Pennsylvania and upstate New York. Very little moisture with this front, so we are still dry at this 8 o'clock hour. May see a flurry before the night is through, but the wind is whipping on the back side of this. Notice these isobars, these lines of equal pressure, are pretty close together, so the wind, it continues to be a story across northeast Ohio and western PA this evening. Mentioned not much is going on with this front, and here is the radar. It is quiet in northeast Ohio. Here's the Cleveland radar. Nothing more than a quick flurry on that. Most of the flurries and snow showers are up in Michigan, although the Detroit radar is also pretty quiet. We could get a passing flurry later tonight. No big deal here. Here's a look at a wind boy, I'm having a hard time talking this evening. Wind visualization map showing the wind speed and direction across the eastern part of the country. Notice the more the closer together these lines are, and the whiter they are, well, the stronger the wind is. Generally a west-southwest wind blowing through the region right now, and it is pretty strong. We've seen some gusts up to 45 miles per hour earlier today. The National Weather Service has canceled the wind advisory that was in effect. It's going to be windy, but not so windy that they continue to need an advisory. So we head through time here. Let's show you what we expect on Tuesday, and the answer is not much. You'll notice up across Ohio and western PA on Tuesday, there can be some flurries around. That's the green showing up here at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. As we roll forward into Wednesday, though, kind of an interesting situation setting up. And if you watched my video from earlier today, I kind of highlighted this. There's going to be a storm across the mid-Atlantic states. The area of low pressure will be right in through here with a cold front heading south and west like that, and a warm front heading like that. Well, the moisture associated with this is going to get close to the region as we go through Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Here's 7 p.m. Wednesday evening. Here's the GFS computer model showing how far north it thinks the precipitation will get. This GFS American-produced model has it getting into State College, Pennsylvania, maybe Du Bois, but not quite to Youngstown. The other American model we look at, the NAM model, has a similar idea. It gets up to maybe I-70, but that's about it. So according to those two models, we stayed dry. Here's the European model. Well, actually, that's the European model. It does not have as much in the way of precipitation, but it has the same idea. Whatever light precipitation there is, gets about as far north as Columbus, maybe Pittsburgh, but probably not much of the Mahoning Valley. We'll see precipitation later on Wednesday. So assuming we miss that one, well, things are pretty quiet then until Thursday evening into Thursday night with a pretty good chance of snow showers along our next front. Here's 7 p.m. Thursday evening. So this model prints out some snow showers here, and there'll be more flurries flying around as we head towards Friday and the weekend. Over the weekend, it's going to be pretty cold. Big trough of low pressure is going to kind of set up shop, a big dip in the jet stream, if you will. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. A dip in the jet stream will set up shop across the Ohio and Mahoning valleys over the weekend. There'll be some flurries around. It's going to be no higher than the 20s this weekend. And speaking of temperatures, let's take a look at this chart showing the general temperature outlook all the way through the 27th of the month. The long, straight orange line here is the 32-degree line. Notice a little bit of a warm-up for Valentine's Day on Thursday, the 14th. Maybe we touch 40 or so. But then here comes the cold for the weekend. We're below freezing most of the weekend. Early next week, temperatures kind of bobbing up, maybe close to normal, and that'll be the case probably all the way out through the latter half of the month. We don't expect a huge variation. Notice there aren't any big dips and valleys on this chart through the 27th. So a pretty cold weekend coming up, but that should be the coldest weather we have then for the rest of the month. The rest of February, if this model pans out to be correct, will be fairly close to the average. And I wanted to take a quick look at sunrises and sunsets this week. This goes through the 17th. Here's our sunrise values right here by the end of the week, 7:14. The sun will be coming up. And by the very end of this week, on the 17th, the sun will set in Youngstown at 6 p.m. So the days are steadily getting longer. We're picking up now about 2.5 minutes on average worth of daylight each and every day this week. So, and that'll continue to accelerate as we roll on into March and towards the equinox in the middle of March, the start of spring. It's not that far away. Pitchers and catchers reporting this week. Hey, have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Be sure and check out 21 News tonight at 11.